Hello, and welcome to the very first Business Boost workshop for 2024. And while we don't have very many people in on this today, I've decided to lock the recording so that people don't come in and leave and that sort of stuff, because I am running this on my own today, but it's all good. So this is, as I said, this is the first one, Business Boost for Small Business. I'm going to be running these half-an-hour sessions once a month, so the beginning of every month, and each one will have its own little topic. So just so that we can make sure that we're covering everything. There's basically a little bit of a content dump, if you want to call it that. So if you're looking at your value ladder, you want to basically offer as much of you as possible without taking too much of your time and effort, because the customers are different in any point of view. So you would have seen that a lot of things are happening, changes in the world, changes in technology are happening more and more, to the point where we're losing track and traction of what's happening with marketing and clients and communications and technology, and add it all together. And normally, you, like 200 years ago, you'd have a piece of paper that you'd write your notes on and stuff. Now we've got devices, we've got communications, we've got to-do lists, we've got various different platforms and programs and stuff like that we can use to build and grow our business. So this is the first, as I said, and we're gonna work through social media this time. And just before I get into that social media mindset, I'm just going to give you a quick overview. So those who don't know me, my name is Nadia. I am, let's see, oh, there he is. So Nadia, I'm a technologist, and I have been since the year 2000. I am what can you call it, a geek. I'm not a nerd, because nerds are good with numbers and I'm dyslexic. So not great with numbers, great with technology. There's a little bit of a difference there. I'm also a business and lifestyle coach. So I actually spent 24 years in the IT industry, and I started out as a novice, like most people do, started tinkering with stuff, and I realized about 16 years into the business, into IT industry, that I realized that the problem is not with the technology. The problem is with us. So the biggest technology in this universe is right up here. And what we have a problem with is not being focused enough to click on the right things, or even tell the computer what we need, because the computer is basically, you can probably hear my dogs in the background there. Your computer will basically do what it's told. So if you tell it the wrong thing, it is going to do the wrong thing. You tell it the right thing and everybody's happy. So that's when I got into business and lifestyle coaching. And my main niche is customer satisfaction as well as work-life balance. So I can go through this so many times in my life, but I didn't learn the first, the second, or the third time that balance is really important, especially when you are only human. And I can talk about this within other parts and sections of Chill Technology. But we're only human having a human experience. So if you get swept up in one aspect of your human experience, then you're not going to be balanced. So really important, and something that I really do like to emphasize when it comes to technology, when it comes to business, when it comes to lifestyle, and all of that sort of stuff as well. So in saying that, I am a master in hypnotherapy, NLP, timeline therapy, and universal energy, which is also called Reiki. I can also advise on certain things in all of these areas. And if you do want to show some interest in any of this, then hang around at the end, or basically just respond to this video wherever you see it. I will be posting it on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. But you will see a little bit more about social media, so I'm sure you'll find out more there. My favorite animals, if you haven't heard yet, I do have a Great Dane and a Staffy running around my neighbours. In the hallway, everywhere in the house except in here, because I've got a little gate to keep them out. But dogs are my favorite, and then followed, they're very, very small behind, is dolphins, because they can't go on land. If they could go on land, I would be hugging them all day. Yes, I have Pat, a dolphin, and I know you're not supposed to, but at that time I wasn't aware and everyone else was doing it. So yeah. I am also studying a bachelor's degree of psychological science. So not to become a psychologist, but basically I have a fascination with the mind, and I like science in respect to, and the evidence-based approach. So a lot of what I've done over the last 20 years also is, so it's called human voyeurism, where I like to watch people, watch their behaviors, watch how they react to certain things. And this is how I discovered that being a master technologist is one thing, but it was really the human interaction with technology that I really enjoyed. So that's basically me. This session, this next 20 or so minutes, so 26 minutes, is all about social media. So I've decided to start off with social media for the 2024 Business Boost, basically because it is going bonkers right now. And I'm going to also show you a little bit of the history of social media and how it fits into your business. Reasons behind social advertising, and I do have a few little things to say about the old stream of advertising, which is mainly the paper and banner sign. But yeah, hopefully I'll stay within time so that I don't bore you as well. Social expectations, which is quite interesting. So it's based on how your customers interact with you on social media and what they're expecting from you as well. Social media time investment, and this is a hugely misconceived investment of time, and you have to actually see it as an investment for it to actually work for you. The financials of social media, especially when it comes to advertising and marketing and what you're going to put into it. And then finally, we will basically just wrap it all up with some questions and answers. So Q&A at the end. If you do have any extra questions, do feel free to send me a message, comment on whatever social media you see this video on, and we can get back to you. So as I mentioned before, I would like to get back into doing the live workshops, because then we can do stuff in person and I can help you, guide you through processes and that sort of stuff. But right now, because of the low engagement, I just decided to seal it off, and I'll work on the recording as well. So what is social media? There's lots of different ways I can answer this. The first one is Facebook. So most popular on people's phones today, and research actually shows that there's a slight decline in Facebook usage at the moment, because there's a lot of drama being posted on there, and the Facebook and Instagram algorithms are actually showing more advertising and sponsorship than it is actually showing friends and family, which is what the purpose of it is at the moment. So storytelling, basically, having that social connection with other people, started out by Mr. Zuckerberg as a way to communicate with fellow students at a university in America. I won't go into too much of that information, but I'm sure there's so many other ways that we can play. So Instagram is the next one. And it was basically started separate from Meta, from Facebook, and it was a way to share your photos. At the moment, there's so much integration between Facebook and Instagram, so you'll notice also that if you have a business profile, you'll be able to post on Instagram or Facebook, and it will go over to the other platform as well. So that's quite interesting. There's a lot of changes in that space, especially now that the Zuckerberg family own Instagram as well. YouTube. So YouTube is basically famous in the DIY communities. Okay, yeah. My dog likes YouTube. She likes watching all the puppy videos and stuff like that. So yeah, so the DIY communities will basically share how to do things. And it was at one point, it was the manual on how to do things. So when some small businesses started out with YouTube back in 2004, I believe, they would literally record a video, put it on YouTube only for their small community to see. But now with all the trends and people, doing all their, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it on YouTube. So it's more than just a DIY community, but you can basically learn how to cook on YouTube. You can learn how to do everything on YouTube. Play guitar, ukulele. Last time I had a problem with a computer, and I literally typed in the model number of the computer, and it actually showed me absolutely every feature of that motherboard. So I'm like, wow, this is great. But gone are the days where you need a piece of paper or open a box, and there's a manual in there to show you where things and how things and what you do to use it. So it's quite amazing, quite friendly. So yeah. So that's what is social media. And I've only covered 3. So obviously Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. As this little graphic on the side here shows, there are so many out there. So the Pinterest is also like a visual way to, expand your knowledge and what you like and dislike in the world. So I had my hair cut recently, and I got, the ideas for my haircut from Pinterest. Snapchat is a quick and easy way to communicate, where the photos, and all the sound bites and stuff like that will follow you and then delete after. So you can actually screenshot and do little videos and snippets and stuff like that as well, which is kind of cool. The other ones, so there's Android, there's Skype, there's Twitter. Twitter is now X, so I've got to replace that little thing. YouTube, as I meant, WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is an awesome phone replacement as well. So all you need is access to the internet. I will be using that over in New Zealand when I go on a cruise next month. So the next part of it is I want to show you a little bit about the history. So the history of social media, especially in business. So let's go. So Facebook itself has a whopping 2.7 billion users in Facebook, and that was in the year 2020. So we're in 2024. I believe we've gone up and then we've scaled down. This information, so down the bottom of my screen here, which I will send you the link as well. These are the links where I actually got this information from. So it is a platform where people are able to like and share each other's lives and their events in their lives as well. So it was founded, as I mentioned before, by Mark Zuckerberg in 2004, and he initially wrote the website to judge how attractive girls were at his university. Amazingly enough, even with the 2.7 billion users on the platform today, Business Insider says that he's not a coding genius. He actually has people writing the code for him and with it as well. So he was the idea behind it. he was just very dedicated at what he does. So it goes to show that not only does it have an impact in the higher levels, but you need your minions. You do need the people around you to help with all that sort of stuff as well. So there we go. It allows us to see and advertise to those we know and trust. It's the most popular social media application on our phones today. So I quite often get the comment of, are you on Facebook? And one of my business cards actually has a QR code to my Facebook and Instagram, but it's mainly Facebook. So Instagram in its business history is the sixth most popular social media platform in the world. And again, this is based on 2020 information. So it has 1 billion active users in 2020. And I'd say that's probably gone up a little bit since 2020 because of like the specific drive. You know, people want to see stuff. We're voyeurs. We want to, see more about what we're doing every day. As well as I have 5 Instagram profiles on my own. So even my own little travel bear has his own Instagram. He doesn't have his own Facebook because I just don't have the patience for it. So 500 million active people per day. So whether you're on one Instagram profile or you're on multiple Instagram profiles, if you have your photos and videos and reels happening all the time, chances are, if you're also using the right platform and the right modules and that sort of stuff, hashtags, you'll be seen. It was founded in 2010, so that's quite a little time after Facebook, so that's all right. As I said, primarily used to share photos of everyday things and activities. So did you know that the most popular Instagram content is actually photos of everyday things? So everyday life with no filters and no propaganda. So having the pictures of, walking down the street or, having a drink of water. So these are the next favorite, is behind the scenes photos. So how you're doing things. So a picture of, how you're building your product or service or how you're integrating your customer service. Facts and figures and that sort of stuff are really good. But how things are made and how things happen are really, really popular. Did you know that there's also more female, so there's slightly more female than there are male people on Instagram every day? And in comparison to Facebook, Instagram only has, in 2020, only has 1 billion active users. So yeah. So 25 million businesses are on Instagram right now. 25 million. It's crazy. I know, right? Okay. So I don't know why my little thing is not working, but this is all great. YouTube. YouTube is amazing. I love it. As I said before, it's for content sharing. So basically videos. It has become very popular with DIY community, as I said before. And it's so popular that Google uses it as their primary video source and they now own it. Hold on, let's go back here. Yeah. Okay, so there's over 2 billion users in 2019. I will say that this information is a little bit out of date, but I will also say that a lot of the universities and colleges are actually subscribing their students to YouTube as well. So you can get a student account and you can use YouTube for submitting assessments and just submitting, informational videos together between teams and that sort of stuff as well. I find that when I'm building my courses, I also refer other YouTube videos into my content, because there's no point in reinventing the wheel. That's something I honestly, my integrity is, if somebody else has already done it, don't replace their work. So model somebody, don't model their work. It just doesn't make sense to reinvent the wheel like that. So yeah, I do always try to put all the references into my slides. So if you do have any questions about where I'm getting my information, do let me know and I can copy the link into the chat or wherever you are. I do also have a registration link for these things as well, so that I can send you more information later if you want it. So that's why it's important to register, even if you cannot attend. So I don't mind talking to myself for a little while, it's fine. So yeah. Awesome. Okay, so back to the content. So in 2019, there was 2 billion users active, and the statistics have risen since then, basically because we are seeing a lot more people using it, as I mentioned, for content in their courses and for sharing and studying and that sort of stuff as well. So YouTube, the video, the human nature is also curious about stuff that is happening in front of them. So most people are visual and audio. So that just means that they want to see it and hear things. As I said before, it is very popular for study and that sort of stuff. So that's why you'll see a lot of users, so 81% are between 18 and 23. So you could say people, more so school age up to 30 now, based on the statistics of more students coming into the platform. Statistically speaking, about 73% of online users have a YouTube account. So that's online, being on the internet. So that's quite huge. You can also see about 23% of those users are small businesses. So back in 2021, it was actually one of the highest growing marketing and advertising platforms as well. So you would see a lot of ads from the top marketing gurus like Ty Lopez and that sort of stuff, depending on what you're looking at and what you're searching, also your age bracket as well. So some of the younger kids would get the smaller ad, because they're not likely to click on things. So people between the ages of 18 to 23 in 2019 were school-aged and college, university-aged people. So they're also teaching the younger generations on how to use technology. 33% of popular YouTube videos are in English, and I was watching my almost 3-year-old nephew on YouTube yesterday morning, and he was actually watching the same video that was recorded in I think she's in the Ukraine, and it was actually translated into 4 different languages. So I watched the same video in 4 different languages, and it was kind of amazing and fascinating because he was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So yeah, it was quite interesting to watch. So take a few minutes and have a look at YouTube, search for absolutely anything. So I challenge you now, so you can stop the recording here, go and have a look at anything in your room. I mean, I'm looking at my sunglasses box here. So this is my sunglass kit. So literally go and Google anything. How do you clean your sunglasses? And you'll find something within a couple of minutes. So when you're ready, just come back. Cool. All right. So clicking on here, I'm not going to have time for questions. We've basically run through social media, what is it, and the history of social media. So that's great. And now I want to just cover the reasons behind social media advertising. So obviously, I don't want to take up too much time, so I'm just going to swiftly go through this. Hopefully, I won't send you through too much jargon. So social media for business. And again, I've got this from the business.gov.au website, and it's social media for business. Just a bit of supporting evidence there. So the first one is to engage with your customers, and it's really important to engage. 200 years ago, you would basically have a note on the outside window of your shop, and they would see it and they would come in based on that. But we don't have that luxury anymore. So without customers, you won't have a business. It's about building the online presence, as marketing and advertising has changed, definitely, especially from that sign in the window thing. In the last 30 years exactly, not too long ago, I remember buying a daily newspaper to find out what was happening around town. Now, each morning, my phone gives me a notification, and I literally have to allocate time to do this, because I could be literally stuck on that for hours. Yeah, so advertising and promotion for those who know and love you and your business. So this is quite interesting. This is something that I'm quite passionate about, because those who know and love you already know what you sell. So they're going to come to you anyway. But you've also got that psychology behind you that I'll do the mates rates. Or I'm going to do something because I know you, or whatever. Unless you've got that solid foundation and psychology to say, all right, I am worth the time that I invest in you, so you should pay me. Not many people are doing that right now. There's a lot of mindset stuff happening in the world. So business has gone to the wayside, and everybody can get into business now, not just, the people who are business minded. So it's important that you engage in your customers, to because they will go and talk to somebody else. And if they talk to somebody who brings you positive or negative feedback, you want to know that that feedback is going to be useful. So sometimes people will come back to somebody who's deliberately bad at what they do, just to see if they're still bad. So that's the sort of environment we're living in at the moment. Um, so yes, so advertise and promote, but also to attract new customers. So your customer base is always changing. So you might have a client persona that's something we're going to talk about at another time. But your client persona really wants to know who you are and how you do things. So when I'm looking for a camping shop, I want to know that that shop is going to give me exactly what I want the first time I go there. Otherwise, I'll have to go to another shop. And for a busy person like myself, I don't want to go to 3 or 4 shops to get what I can get online. Like it's, that's a bit silly. So you want to engage so that people come into your store or buy from you online, or have a look at your product and service enough that you can engage with them. So attracting that new client is really important. So most people carry their phones with them, and they're likely to look you up on Facebook and Instagram, not so much on YouTube. So it's really important to put a sign up saying, find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, find us there. You also want to gather feedback as well. So gather the feedback that's going to help you improve what you're doing. So you might be subject matter expert in your field, but one common misconception about customers is that we are all in business to supply goods and services to customers, and the objective is to make money. I missed that. I missed it big time, and actually, my business really suffered for it, and I can tell you that story in my group. I don't need to tell you on this where time is sensitive. If you're providing less than quality products and services, then it's best you find out from an existing customer, and work out a way to improve on that. So that feedback is huge. You don't want them to go out and tell new customers or new clients that you don't bother going to that person because they don't listen to you or they don't really care about what their customer does. Finally, you want to build customer loyalty. So a customer is going to, oh, yeah. Oh, what happened there? All right. So yeah. Okay, yeah. So customers are going to have their opinion no matter what. So whether it's a good opinion or a bad opinion, ultimately they decide what's good and what's not good about your business. So you want to reward them with great content on your page and make it entertaining, make it fun, make it realistic. And give as much information and engagement as a reward. So you want to basically, say, here is more of me. So you want more information, you want more opportunities to interact with you. So sometimes what I do is my book of the month. So I'm dyslexic, as I mentioned before, but I do make the effort to read. And whether it's reading a physical book, so this is what I've just finished now. I read this book once a year. So no matter what order, there's this book. There's also a couple of others that I like to read every year at the beginning of the year, and it puts me in for a good year. So what I've been doing is every time I read this book, I actually go out and I buy 5 books. So I buy one of the book that I'm reading for myself. I always strive to get an autograph or just a note from the author. So obviously I'm not going to go out and speak to Eckhart Tolle, but if I do know of somebody who's written a book about content that I like and I want to share, then I'll have them send me a copy with my name written it with their hand. But I also buy another few books so that I can give them away. And that's my way of sharing things with the community and building my customer loyalty. So a big thing that I've mentioned at the beginning of this training and so many other platforms is I really want to engage with the people I'm working with. I am an ultra introvert, which means my personality type is I'm happy to be with you. I'm happy to, share life experience and be a human with other people, but I really do like my own space as well. So it's really important for me to be interactive and show you how engaging I can be as a reward because, it's just not natural for me to want to interact with people. So it's an honor for me to meet people, especially when, other people that are introverted as well, they don't really want to be out in the world. Being back in the shadows is something that we have in common. So me to be able to give back to the community is really high on my priority list. So if you need to offer them discounts, monetary rewards, and that sort of stuff, that's up to you. But you need to look at the return on investment as well. So that's something very important that you need to take into consideration. So just a couple of little things. A satisfied customer is the best business strategy of all. That's really, really important. Because satisfied customer will go out and tell 5 other satisfied customers that you're the best to work with. Up until recently, it's the only way I did business. So I didn't advertise, I didn't do anything. I was just known as the person who gets things done, and it was really important for me to do that. Customer satisfaction. So ask the question, can you tell me whether my work was satisfactory to you? If it's not, please feel free to let me know what's going on. and actually take the time to understand what your clients are actually needing from you as well, because essentially they're the ones that are going to pay your bill. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Cool. So we have covered what is social media, the history of social media, reasons behind social marketing and advertising. And I wanted, this is like really, really important. So social expectations. Wow. Um, yeah, I've had a bit of fun with this. So social media is another customer service avenue. Um, so a lot of people after COVID sort of went back into their own little bubble and didn't want to go outside, didn't want to go to the shops, didn't want to go out and invest their time, effort, money in the universe outside of their own little bubble. So it became really, really good for people to hide behind their phones. Um, it's really also important to know that there will be good feedback and bad. So take the bad along with the good and actually use it to your advantage. Okay, so I wasn't really good at speaking to people. Maybe I need to learn how to do that better. Maybe I need to go and do something and learn something about myself. So that's really important too. Your business profile is a professional representation of your business and what it does. So I've had a lot of my clients come back to me and they've asked me to do their social media management, and I've actually rejected them. And they're like, why, Nadia? Why would you reject me? Oh, I'm upset now. But if you look at it, they don't actually have a business profile. They don't understand the concept of that representation because they don't see, like, customers don't see you face to face. On your social media, you have the obligation to them to tell them who you are. So I actually did some mentoring with a takeaway shop not long ago. And it was kind of, in a nice street, a nice place, a lot of tourists, and they came in and they said, Nadia, I don't understand why, people come in and they have my food and then they don't give me feedback and they don't whatever and they're not nice and friendly. So I'm like, all right, okay, no worries. One day this week, I'm going to come in and I'm going to pretend to be a customer, and I'm going to expect that you do not know me. And what I experienced from them just by looking at their social media was they were very bland. Like they only had pictures of what they sold. So when a tourist was watching what they were doing on social media, they had no reason to interact. There was no reason to see what was on the board because everything was there. So what we did was we actually made like a meal of the day, which was kind of fun. So just something that was not on the menu. And it actually prompted customers to come in and say, oh, I didn't know you did that because it's not on your Facebook. And then they started selling more hot dogs and sausages and stuff that, basically came out of a packet and they were, done instantly and stuff like that. Whereas people went there specifically for the boring stuff. Um, yeah, it was kind of a bit of a twist and a play, but yeah, it only took a week to turn their business around and actually get some social interaction. So it was a very nice experience. Um, so potential customers don't care about what you cannot do. So, and this is really important. So, I did some dealings with a Chinese supplier not long ago, and they're beautiful people. I've met them in person a few times. And I said, okay, I would like this delivered to my end customer. I want this. And they said no. I said, what? And they said no. I said, why? And they said, well, we don't do that. I said, well, I can go to another supplier. No, 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 please don't do that. We can do everything for you. And my biggest issue, especially being in this social media game myself and being in a business environment, for them to say no to me was really like disappointing. I didn't really want to hear no. Um, I am going to go a little bit over time, but I'm sure everyone's going to be fine with that. So we're sitting at 39 minutes at the moment, but yeah, all goodly. Yeah, so essentially when somebody says no in their business profile, it's basically a rejection on the customer side. And we don't want that. We want a yes. We always want the yes, because yes is going to get them to come back and say yes to you. Yes, take my money. That's what you want. Empathy goes a long way. And I would like to really stress here that kindness and empathy does not mean weakness. It means that you are open to the conversation. And that is so valuable in the world today, especially when it comes to, the international financial crisis that we're having. We've got homelessness happening. We've got jobless rate is just so skewed with the information. There's people out there having babies so they can have that family payment rather than going out and getting full-time work. So we've got a lot of things happening in the environment at the moment, and it's not just in Australia or the US or the UK. It's actually all around the world. And having that little bit of empathy and allowing your customer to know who you are and that you are an open and free business, um, that will encourage them. Yeah, that's my. That will encourage them to spend their money with you rather than going to Amazon.com where it's all robots. Don't get me wrong, I buy from Amazon as well. I love the fact that they have robots. I love that, if you've actually seen videos like the barcode scans and then it says, okay, you have to go to this place, and the robot will literally go to that place based on, the maps. Anyway, so instead of having robots do your job, this is where artificial intelligence comes in. Instead of having a robot do your job, make yourself human, because everybody wants to interact with a human. They want to say yes. They want you to be professional about giving them what they want. So listen to the feedback, give your customers what they want and need. Promote good stuff. I don't even need to say anything about that. So what's the good stuff? Scroll down for the good stuff. You like this? I like this. This is kind of cool. So I'm scrolling down. Content influencers. Yeah, I love this little graphic. I love these little things. Frankly, I'm counting on some of your mojo to rub off on these teams. Like, see, he's a king. Team. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So kings have people making content for them. Did you know that? Like a lot of these big content people, like the influencers and that sort of stuff, like my 10-year-old nephew came in the other day and I said, what do you want to do when you grow up? And he goes, I'm going to be a YouTuber. And I said, oh, that's nice. I said, yeah, how do you do that? And he goes, well, I need a server. I'm like, oh, okay, you need a server. He goes, then I need a capture card. I said, what's that? And obviously I work in IT, so I know what a capture card is. And then I need a microphone. I'm like, oh, you need a microphone. And he's like going on about all of these things. But what he doesn't understand is that that little snippet on YouTube actually takes a little bit longer than 5 minutes to make. So there's applications to do that sort of stuff. Essentially, he goes to the same line. So yeah, frankly, I'm counting on some of your mojo to rub onto the team. Yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. But essentially, like, he's just a human and you're just human. So you can spend money, you can spend time and all of that on being a content person or an influencer, but essentially it's really important to be you. You is a little bit more important than anybody else because yeah, anyway. So I just wanted, let's go back here. I was going to go through a little bit about time investment and the financial information, but obviously we've gone over a little bit. So I'm going to cut it here. So there's the social expectations. You've got the reasons behind social advertising, a little bit of the history. What is social media? And going to cut it there. Next time, I think we're going to go through the time investment and the financial investment of business marketing. I do have somebody who I would like to introduce you to next week, who is a social media expert. She also does a little bit of um, SEO, website marketing, a bit of Google marketing, and that sort of stuff as well. So it will be good to run through that, especially with you all. So have your questions ready. Feel free to email me. Feel free to comment your questions in whatever platform you're looking at, and I will send you the link to the one for next month. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for bearing with me for an extra 15 minutes, and we will look forward to seeing you again. So thank you.